Live, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Only on one, so we're not quite ready yet.
Thanks, Matt, telling me we're live. We're just getting everything else set up. I'm not sure which one are we live on.
YouTube.
Ah, hi YouTube.
Is this mine? So this one is Instagram.
Can we hold it?
Yeah. Let's look at it.
Technical difficulties will be there in a minute.
I think this is going to be sideways, isn't it? So this is the difficulty.
Do I talk? Do I not?
Yep, now you're
Yep,
like
okay. Sorry about that. Hey everyone, welcome back to Facebook Live and on our Fridays here from Companion Animal Vets in Dapto. My name's Melissa, I'm one of the vets here. Today we're talking about FIV, which is Feline Immune Deficiency Virus and feline AIDS. So we thought we'd bring it up because we've Matt's just recently done a little bit of a back through our histories and things and found how many positives we've had in the last few years, and he's done a little map out of where they've been found in Dapto and the surrounding areas, so you can see that on our webpage. And today, so I thought I'd talk about it. Not many people know about FIV. It's not one of those diseases that comes out as an outbreak as such, so it's not on the news and it's not on the websites and stuff, except when it first arrived in Australia. So FIV is a virus. It's similar to the human HIV virus, but it's not the same. So it can't be transmitted between species. You don't have to worry about catching these things from your cats or anything like that. But it's a virus and it's transmitted by saliva mainly and blood. So what we see is these...
Hang on a minute.
Ah, we've got another problem. Sorry guys. Technical difficulties. We'll be there in a minute.
I think this is going to be sideways.
So do we stop YouTube?
Yeah.
No, I can't really. Just leave it running.
Do I dare?
So do you want to go that one and then oh, no, go
So which one's that one that you're having trouble with?
Facebook.
It was. Greyhound. Yeah. Because it's coming in with that. Yeah. It wasn't actually for a consult, they just brought it at the same time. It's legitimate. And Tani? Is Tani there? No, Tani. It's not the one who is on the spectrum.
I don't know who it's going to be.
I don't think it is. Who's the one who volunteered here for a while?
Ben,
Yeah,
is that right now?
I'm looking now. Let me refresh it.
I'm just letting them work on the technical side. I'll just stay.
Won't let me view it.
Are there any questions? Or
It's a
anything?
new one.
No one's got any questions on it.
Still sideways, I think.
Righto, just go. We'll do it vertical. Righto.
So am I starting again or? Yeah. Okay, welcome back to Fridays at Companion Animal Vets in Dapto for Ask the Vet Life. Today we're talking about Feline Immune Deficiency Virus, or FIV, and FIV AIDS in cats. So it is a virus, as the name says, so it's very similar to the human HIV virus. And it's not the same, don't worry, we can't catch these diseases from our cats. But it's a disease that is around and it's in our feral populations. So Matt's just gone through and worked out over the last 7 years or so, is that right, Matt, that you went through?
Roughly. Yeah.
Roughly about the last 7 years, and worked out where the positives that we've seen have lived, or in the ones that we can find out anyway, and he's put the map up for you to have a look at that on our web pages and on our Facebook page. But today I thought I'd tell you about it. It's not a disease that we see much in the media because it doesn't have outbreaks as such. I know we've talked about the parvo outbreak they had in Sydney and in Melbourne last year, but we don't see this as an outbreak disease because it's actually a long-term disease. It's a sort of a lifetime type process. So FIV is a virus. It's spread by saliva and by blood. So we see it in cats. I was about to say dogs, not quite, cats. We see it in cats when they fight. So it's generally transmitted by fighting, so biting and fighting. It's actually very rare for it to be transmitted through sharing food bowls and so forth. I guess cats don't leave a lot of saliva behind when they're drinking and when they're eating. So they actually don't see it transmitted very easily through cats living together. It's a disease of fighting. So if you've got an outdoor cat, one that gets in fights, if they've had abscesses in their life, then they are certainly at risk of exposure to this condition. We have it in our feral population. We do see cats come in. The ones that are classically coming in that are tested to be positive are either wild cats that are feral population cats, or they're cats that have been out and have been managed to get into fights or not being able to avoid a fight, and they've come in with abscesses. So it's transmitted by a fight or by a bite, and then these cats become positive and they get the virus in their system. Now, cats don't get sick straight away. They can be positive for the virus but not actually unwell with it. They don't actually get unwell with AIDS as the disease until much, much later, or so further on in their lives. And what it is that not one condition. It suppresses their immune system. So your immune system is the thing that protects you from all the infectious diseases. It helps you ward off diseases and illnesses in your life. And if that is affected, then you can't protect yourself anymore. So these cats do get more diseases and generally have a shorter lifespan. Sorry, we have a question.
Could a cat still get it with no fighting and no contact to an infected cat?
The only other way that they could get it, if there's definitely no fighting and no contact, is they may have got it when they were born from their mums. So it can be transmitted that way as well. So if you've got an indoor cat that has been strictly indoor all its life, then it's obviously much, much less likely to have the condition or to have caught the virus than if they haven't. But if you don't know what their history is, if you have a cat that you've acquired from somewhere else and you've had it as an indoor cat since you've got it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't outdoors before you before it came to you, then there's still a risk that they might have it. We like to vaccinate kittens when they're young because it's a much easier thing to do, and I'll go through the vaccines in a minute. We've got a very good vaccination against this particular disease, and so I'll go through the process of that. It's a little bit of a tricky process, but I'll go through it in a sec. So when it comes to how that makes them sick, is it generally does decrease lifespan. So these cats generally get more unwell as they get older, and they generally have shorter lifespans than cats that are not positive to the virus. We see cats, they get more abscesses, so they get more likely to get infection. They're more likely to get urinary tract infections, so cystitis type things. They also can come in with terrible, terrible mouth infections around their gums and around their teeth because their bodies just can't fight it. Oh, we've got another question.
If your cat has got into a fight, what should you do? Are there any symptoms to look out for?
So if your cat's got into a fight, then we worry about the symptoms from the fight. So swelling or infection from the fight. The actual, if you're worried about the AIDS or the HIV, you won't actually see anything straight away. So, but they're the time where these cats should be tested for feline AIDS after they've been in a fight. But what we're looking for after the fight is actually signs of infection or abscess. So pain, swelling, redness, anything around the fight area, around the bite area, then we certainly would like to see, think that they should get on some antibiotics and some pain relief. They often are very painful after fights as well, so pain relief can help them. But the actual HIV side of it, we actually have to blood test them a bit later down the track and make sure that they haven't caught the virus at that time. It depends on the timing. So I'll go through the vaccination schedules with you. If you've got a kitten that's 8 weeks old, then we need to vaccinate them. They can be vaccinated at the same time as their F3 vaccines. So we do 3 injections 2 weeks apart. So we actually have packages available for kittens. So if you're doing the 3 vaccinations of their F3 plus the 3 vaccinations of their FIV, and I just got to check my cheat sheet, it's it's $290 for that series of injections, and that involves all the checkups on the way. But those guys don't need blood tests. They can just come in and have those 3 sets of injections, and it covers them for their AIDS and for their F3s, which is their intestinal, their parvo problems, and their flu side as well. So the other situations are where you have an adult cat. If you've got an adult cat that you got as a kitten and has been inside all its life, has never ever been outside, has never been in a fight, then we can do the 3 vaccinations straight out. Sorry, yes?
So we've got a few questions
we've
here.
got lots of questions now.
Is it only transmittable to felines?
Yes, as I said at the beginning, it's a virus that is strictly in a species virus. So it's not transmissible to other species. It's just in cats. So you don't have to worry about the humans. You don't have to worry about dogs. We just worry about the cats.
If symptoms show later, should I have my rescue cat tested, even if he is indoor? Even if he's indoor, if mum was also a stray.
Look, I think if you have a rescue cat that you don't know the history beforehand, I think it's probably always a good idea to have them tested. Yeah, if they've been inside with you for at least 3 months, then we can just do a single test and get them onto vaccinations. So we can certainly do that for you. And I think rescue cats, it's a really good idea because we don't know, often if they've ended up in rescue or in a pound, then they have been in the environment for a while beforehand and there is a risk that they've been in a fight. And
the next question, we'll wait for a minute because it was what we're going to get Lauren into.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yes. So the vaccination schedules again takes 3 injections, each one 2 weeks apart, no matter what age the cat is. The difference is when we do blood tests. So in the kittens, we don't need to do blood tests. If you've got a cat that's been inside permanently, absolutely guaranteed, then we don't need to do blood tests. But if we've got a cat that has potentially been outside, has been in a fight, but even if it hasn't been in a fight, then we do need to do some blood testing. So we do a blood test first, then we have their injections, and in some cases we may even have to talk about getting a blood test later on if there's a chance they've been in a fight within the 3 months before, but it gets a bit complicated. So we will do that. So the packages that are available is if we're just doing the 3 injections, it's $130 and you can pay that up front. That includes all the checkups and the injections. If we need to do a blood test as well, then we do that blood test at the first visit and it's $190. We can do them at the same time as the F3, so at their yearly checkups as well. So it's a really good thing to do. It's a really good vaccination. Now, the one thing we wanted to go through is that one of our nurses, Lauren's going to come in and have a chat to us about, is the fact that often when we're talking to people and asking them whether their cat stays inside or goes outside, they say, oh no, he's only an indoor cat. He only goes outside when we're there, or he only goes into the backyard and he never goes anywhere else. Our concern is that if your cat is going outside, then they are at risk of exposure to other cats. And Lauren has a little story. This is Lauren. She's one of our new vet nurses here. So Lauren's going to tell a little story about her cats and her backyard and what happened.
So,
first of all, I'll ask the question, are your cats indoors only or are they indoors and outside?
Mostly indoors.
Mostly indoors,
I never let them outside freely. I only let them outside if, like, I have a really enclosed backyard.
Yeah.
So I only let them out there when I'm home.
Yeah.
But they still have come into contact with outdoor stray cats. And what happened was, so I've got, like, an enclosed backyard. Like I said, it's a big, huge color bond fence, completely solid, maybe 2 meters high. And around dusk, there's some stray cats in the neighborhood who wander around. They sometimes come up to the front door. I think they can smell my cats, so they're always interested.
They can also smell someone who likes cats and is more likely to feed them.
Yeah. So they're always just kind of lurking around when it gets dark. So we had our cats in the backyard. We were home, lights were on, and one of the big cats scaled the fence, the 2 meter long color bond fence, jumped in the backyard and confronted my cats. Luckily, no one got hurt, but long story short, my cats are now vaccinated for FIV just in case.
Yeah, so again, it's that answer of when we ask if your cat is a permanently indoor cat, mostly indoors is Lauren's answer, but still exposure to that risk of the feral cat coming into the backyard. And it's only because Lauren saw it happen that there would have been a risk for a fight in that situation. And because FIV is spread by saliva and blood, the most common cats to be carriers of FIV are undesexed male feral cats because they're the ones that are getting into fighting and they're the ones that are mating as well. So if your cat is any chance of being outside, we do recommend prevention. Prevention is very easy. It's for your vaccinations. 3 vaccinations to start off with, each 2 weeks for 3 injections, and then it just becomes part of their yearly schedule after that.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.
We have another question.
Yep, got another question.
If you have 2 cats and only one is positive for FIV, should they be kept separate, their litter boxes, their food and water bowls?
Okay, that's the next thing I was going to talk about. If you do happen to have an FIV positive cat and you have other cats in your household, it's really worthwhile obviously getting those other cats tested. And then if they're negative, we vaccinate them. But that doesn't stop them from living in the same household. So as long as they're vaccinated, as I said, it's a very good vaccine and they're going to be well protected. So it's actually a virus that's quite difficult to spread apart from fighting and biting. So if you have cats that fight and bite, obviously that's not a great situation. They're more likely to be positive anyway, so always get your other cats tested. But it's actually not a good virus for spreading through littered boxes, through food bowls and that sort of thing. So in fact, they're reasonably safe, but we would recommend them getting vaccinated. Yeah, cool. Okay, well, hopefully that has helped a little bit about the FIV. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to let us know. If you want to know about those packages that I talked about, so new kittens just get the 3 injections apart within their normal schedule. If you've got an adult cat that has been inside all its life but you want to start letting it go outside, then we can do the 3 injections at that time before you let them go outside. If you've got a cat where you don't know the history or you're concerned that it has been exposed previously, then we do a blood test to start off and then they have their 3 injections. If there's definitely exposure that they've had abscesses, then we may need to do another blood test down the track from that. So, not transmissible to humans. Don't worry about that. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call or send us a message online on any one of your, what do you call them? I forget.
Platforms?
Platforms, that's the word. Platforms that you're watching on. Just send us a message. Thanks. See you next week.